Coming up, History News This Week, Episode 15. Namaste friends. My name is Shri Subramanian Paimal and you are listening to the Histology Podcast. Welcome to the 15th episode of History News This Week. Please note that History News This Week will be online every Sunday at 9:30 pm Indian Standard Time, that is 4 pm GMT. This week I have 6 interesting pieces of news items from the world of history and archaeology, followed by 3 great articles. Let's start. First up is news of new evidence that has led scientists to believe that there was an unknown super cold ice age event that wiped out the first humans earlier than widely known ice age. Marine sediment was sampled from the ocean floor of the coast of Portugal and showed there was an abrupt ice age period 1.15 million years ago. Second is about a 16th century sugar estate on the tiny African island of Sao Tome, that is Portuguese for Saint Thomas. That is the earliest known example of plantation slavery according to archaeologists who investigated the sugar mill and estate. Third, Benjamin Franklin printed money with a special dye and innovative techniques to thwart counterfeiters. New research finds. Researchers used spectroscopic and imaging technologies to study the inks, papers and fibers of Franklin's note. Fourth, researchers have decoded an ancient script dating back thousands of years to the Kushan Empire for the first time, nearly 70 years after it was first identified. It records the previously completely unknown Middle Iranian language. The researchers have proposed the name Etio-Tocharian to describe the newly identified language, which is believed to have been, at one point, one of the official languages of the Kushan Empire. Fifth, archaeologists from the Israel Antiquities Authority have unearthed a 5,500-year-old city gate, the earliest known in Israel, and a fortification system at Tel Irani, an archaeological site on the outskirts of Kiryat Gat in the southern district of Israel. Sixth and final piece of news. Researchers say they have created the most lifelike reconstruction of the face of Bonnie Prince Charlie. A team at the University of Dundee's Centre for Anatomy and Human Identification used death masks to create the Scottish prince's looks. After his death in 1788, a cast of the prince's face was taken, which was common for notable figures at the time. This was painstakingly photographed and mapped along with software, allowing the experts to de-age the prince. Charles Edward Stuart was renowned for his good looks and has captivated a new generation of audiences through the TV show Outlander. Now, coming to the 3 articles. First, attempts to decipher the lost script once used by Rapa Nui of Eastern Island leave more questions than answers. Second, which is titled David Rubini and Africa's Lost Tribe of Israel. A black Jewish man arrived in Venice with stories of a lost Jewish kingdom that could save Europe's Jews. Why was he believed? Third and last is titled 11 Ways People Beat the Heat Before Air Conditioning. From sleeping outside to installing windows designed for airflow, find out how people tried to stay cool during heat waves before AC. Latest book release of the week, The Place We Make, Breaking the Legacy of Legalized Hate, written by Sarah L. Sanderson, is a pick of the week. It is a thoughtful investigation into the incredible true story of a black man convicted and exiled under the Oregon Exclusion Law in 1851 and a contemporary white woman wrestling with racism and faith after learning she is a descendant of 2 men who assisted in the exile. History Podcast recommendation of the week. Burnt Toast with host Michael Herlan Turkel at the microphone dives into the traditions surrounding food and dining. You shall come away from this podcast with a new appreciation for what's on the table and maybe a tidbit or 2 for your next dinner party. I will provide links to all the news articles, items, book and podcast mentioned above in the show notes. Please feel free to check them out. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the History News This Week. Hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology Podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check histology.com for book reviews and interesting tidbits from the pages of history. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and take care. Bye.